Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend that we're done if she doesn't want another kid in the future? Background: I'm 28 with no kids. My girlfriend is 26 and has an 8-year-old son from her previous relationship. She was with the guy since they were kids, but when she got pregnant, he dropped the ball. She had it pretty hard during the early years, and it was a huge struggle for her to balance work, school, and her son. She made it work and is now in law school. The kid's dad made a change about 3 years back when his own father died and has since been helping. We've been together for a year and 2 months and I really do love her. However, when we first got together, she did mention that she doesn't see herself having other kids because it was incredibly hard. She values her time alone when her kid is away, and she wants to travel with her son being that he's bigger now. Also that she has a school-age kid and doesn't want to start over with an infant. It was too early for me to complain about it or try to change her mind. It wasn't brought up again for some time. Fast forward to last night. We were watching something and I mentioned that my coworker has left work to have her 4th kid. She said that she couldn't imagine having that many kids. I got a little offended that my parents had 5. She told me that that's what worked for my parents, but it wouldn't work for her. I asked why and she listed the reasons above and that 4 kids is just excessive. I tried to reason it down to 3 or even 2. She said she doesn't want any children but her son. The way I see it, the only reason it was so hard was because of her age when she first had him. My logic is that any future children we produce will be secure and she won't be alone or have to struggle. For background, I have 4 siblings while she has 1 sister who lives in another state. She doesn't understand how important siblings are. I told her if she's unwilling to have even 1 child for me in the future, then we're done. She agreed and said we're done then, and I'm incredibly hurt. This is a hill she's willing to die on. She's super smart, but so hard-headed. No matter what I said all night, she wouldn't hear it or budge her views at all. I'm hurt because I made the empty threat and she very easily went through with it. I'm not feeling valued at all. I love this woman and the thought of us having an expiration date kills me. I want to marry her and have kids with her and she's just uninterested. She also said I was being an idiot and not taking her experiences into account when I totally am. I acknowledge how hard it was for her, which is why I think she would have a totally different experience if she tried again. She's not 18 anymore and will have me by her side. I want her back but don't know what to say. She seemed very certain when she agreed to the breakup. Please tell me, am I the idiot? Update. Well, it's been about 3 weeks since my post and my breakup, and it took almost that full time to let it sink in what I've really done. I self-wallowed for some time and attempted to guilt trip her and get my siblings to talk to her for me. What a mistake that was. She called and ripped me a new one worse than you guys did. She told me that she was thrilled we're not together and that I'm manipulative and disgusting. That left me really shocked, and I had to review my behavior over the time we had been together. I think over my life I always had an idea that with enough perseverance anyone's mind can be changed. I don't know where I got this from. I guess I thought it was a sign of being a strong person. Like taking what you want from life even when the chances are slim. It sounds stupid because it is. I reread my post just now and cringed the whole way through. Even the language I used showed that she was right and I am manipulative. She's a human being and I didn't treat her with respect. I played with our relationship to get her to change her mind about something very important to her. I deserve what happened. I also have realized that our views on the relationship were a little different. She had never brought up marriage or anything while it had crossed my mind almost daily because I really was so enamored. So I probably looked insane going on about having 3 children. It sounds so stupid to me now. Among the things she said on the phone, one was that she found my lack of respect for her body and choice is appalling. I wasn't asking her to be forgiven, but I wanted to express how much her and her son meant to me. And as most dumb people tend to do, I couldn't even give a poop about what I was bitching about in the first place. I miss going to the park with her and her son. Those days were nice and calm and I didn't appreciate them. I let some fictional children and my bad habits ruin something good. I have a lot of self-reflecting to do, and while I'm still sad, I know now that her dumping me was really for the best. Thanks guys for being honest. You're the idiot, considering she told you this pretty much from day one. You're also an idiot for making an empty ultimatum about it and then whining about how she called your bluff. You complain about not feeling valued when you aren't listening to or valuing her input at all. YTA. J. Justice, if someone doesn't want kids you can't make them. The sibling thing isn't really an argument at the moment. You are looking at a 10-year gap and it's very rare to get a sibling relationship with that kind of gap. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not wanting my sister's gross dress? Recently, my cousin got engaged and is planning to wed next month. He gave our family money to buy a dress for the wedding. Let's say it's around $600 to split up against 5 family members. My sister, female 21, bought 2 expensive dresses for the wedding. She said she initially planned to buy one but somehow ended up buying 2 as she really liked both. My brother, male 14, got himself a really good suit. Not expensive as my sister's but still pretty good. My parents also got themselves nice dresses and I, female 19, was the last one. Turns out every single dollar is spent. Before you ask why I didn't buy it sooner, I thought we'll all get together but my sister and brother went shopping one day. I had an internship that day. My parents also went after that. When I asked about it, my parents just told me to borrow one of my sister's old dresses. I simply refused and asked them to buy me a new one. Then they told me if I buy a new expensive dress instead of wearing my sister's, I won't be buying clothes for the next couple of months, which I can't because I'll be needing casual clothes for wearing at home and for going out. Let me tell you what, being a middle child sucks. All my life, I've been either using my sister's or buying the cheap ones compared to my sister. Not just clothes, literally everything. Even my college fund was used for my sister, just because I was able to secure a 95% scholarship. I'm a really good student. They did ask me before taking the money out. I said okay because it happens every time. All the money they've saved for me or they gave me has been taken back by parents or sister and only paid back a little so far. So am I the idiot? Thank you so much for all your opinions. It was really helpful. As many of you were saying, I've decided to stand up for myself and I'm not going to accept this kind of treatment anymore. Back to the story. I called my cousin and told him about what happened. He understood the situation and called my parents. With my mom asking about the wedding plans, he casually mentioned that he saw a cute dress which will suit me and that I haven't bought any dress yet. I should buy that one. So he asked for a refund of my share. My mom tried to manage the situation by saying that I already have one, but he was firm in buying the one he saw. This was all made up by my cousin to ask for the money in a non-hurtful or non-suspicious way. Eventually, my parents transferred my share of money to him. No, my sister didn't return her dress. He mentioned that he's going to take me out next weekend for shopping as well as dinner with his fiancée. They offered and I declined. But they insisted, saying it's not a big deal, they're both so sweet. Somehow, my sister ended up hearing this. She came to me saying that she will come along and that it's unfair I'm the only one going out with them. She didn't talk much or formed a nice convo when we first met his fiancé, so they didn't invite her. I replied, maybe you should have been a little nicer instead of acting like a spoiled brat. And you finished your shopping already, so you literally have no right to come along. So stop being so entitled and suck it up. They don't want you to come, which pissed my sister off. My parents didn't take her side this time and remained silent, which even more pissed her. Gosh, I loved the look on her face when she walked out. She was really frustrated and was on the verge of tears. But I don't feel guilty. In fact, I've never felt any better. Edit 1. I'd like to add one thing, that my parents didn't cut my casual clothes budget, thankfully. 2. Many of you were concerned about the dress, so I took your advice, and to be on the safe side, I'll ask my cousin if he's okay with keeping the dress. Most probably he'll say yes, so no worries. Not the idiot. Your sister shouldn't get 2 dresses when there wasn't enough money for you to get one. She should have been made to return one so that there was money for yours. If they're letting her keep 2, they should buy you one, and it shouldn't count against other clothes you get. It should count against hers because she's the one who got an extra dress she doesn't need for the wedding. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for making my teenage son and daughter share a bedroom? My husband unexpectedly passed away a few months ago, and I became a single mother to 3 kids. Age male 16, female 14, and female 2. Due to the significant decrease of income, I was no longer able to continue renting where we were, and all I can afford is a 1-bedroom apartment. Currently, I am sleeping in the living room with my youngest female 2. I gave the bedroom to my male 16 and female 14 and asked them to share in the meanwhile. I tried adding a privacy screen in the middle so they feel like they have their own space, but they are telling me that this isn't acceptable. Each of my kids used to have their own rooms, so this is a massive change for them. I have been looking for a better paying job for months and so far have had no luck. I can't get a second job because I can't afford to pay someone to care for my daughter female 2 outside daycare hours. Neither of my kids male 16 and female 14 are willing to help, and they say my youngest is not their responsibility. I know this situation isn't ideal, but I don't know what else I can do. For the past month, I've not been eating anything for 2 days a week and just telling the kids I'm trying out the fasting trend for weight loss purposes. But the truth is, I can't afford to feed us all, and I have been using the food bank. Prior to this, I had never had to use food bank services before, and I am so thankful that it exists. I am both thankful and deeply ashamed at the same time. Would I be the off for telling my teens that they must share the bedroom? Would it be better if I suggested my son sleep in the living room with me and have both my female kids share the bedroom instead? I do not live in the US, but it is not common for teenagers of the opposite sex to share a bedroom. That is something I do absolutely recognize. Edit. Gosh, I really wasn't expecting so many responses when I checked back. Thank you, everyone. All this time, I did feel it would be unfair to put adult problems on my kids. However, I will be giving them a surface-level talk about our finances. I'll also be bringing them with me to the food bank. Hopefully, they'll be more understanding. Edit 2. The bedroom is larger than the living room. I am able to fit 2 single beds into the bedroom, and the kids have space to store their clothes while still having the room divider in the middle. The living room is smaller. I currently have my youngest and my own clothes stored in the hallway due to lack of space. It is right next to the washroom and kitchen, so there is a lot of foot traffic. The living room also doubles as dining space because there is no dining room. Update. I had a chat with my kids after work. I still don't want to put an adult problem onto my kids, so I only gave them a brief overview of the dire financial issues we're having after my husband, their father, passed away. Us downsizing to a 1-bedroom apartment was not by choice. I also told them the truth about how I couldn't afford to feed us all and why I didn't eat 2 days of the week. I was afraid of how they would take the news, but it had gone better than I expected. My kids will be coming with me to the food bank for the next trip to help out. In terms of the rooming situation, both my older kids agreed that they did not want to share a room with my youngest female too, because she frequently wakes up at night and also has accidents. They also don't want to share with me because I get up much earlier than them to work, and it would disrupt their sleep. They would rather share the room with each other while I continue to sleep in the living room with my youngest. My male 16 and female 14 told me that their friends were saying no kid should ever have to watch their sibling because they didn't create them. They've been told by their friends that it's parentification to be asked to babysit for even an hour, and it is never okay in any circumstance. That was why they kept calling me an idiot when I asked if they could help with childcare so I could get a second job. Now that they know how bad the situation is, my son said he wants to find a part-time job to help contribute. My daughter apologized and said it wasn't that she hated me or her sister. Both my son and daughter said they are willing to help take care of the youngest so I can get a second job. Hopefully, I can find something soon and be able to move to a larger space. You're the idiot. They are kids and you are trying to take that away from them. Yes, I can see where you are coming from, but you understand that you are asking too much. You need to take a hard look in the mirror and do better. Not the idiot. Explain to the kids what is happening and that you are trying to fix the situation. Take them to the food bank with you. They need to know that you're doing your best during a difficult time. You don't need to hide this from them.